Hey, good morning, everyone. Saturday morning, Glenn Kellaway from the basement. Hope everyone has a great weekend. If you watched my video from yesterday, I just picked up this album, Reimagining in the Court of the Crimson King, with an assortment of great artists. Watch my last video for the details on the album, but I've had a chance to listen to it 3 times. Yes, 3 times. And it gets a big thumbs up from me. I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, this is an iconic album. We're talking about one of my favorite albums of all time that I know intimately every note of. And I thought, who can mess with greatness? And they managed to pull off a pretty damn good record. It they what's that phrase? They made it their own, stealing from American Nightmare, whatever that thing was called, with all the people trying to win awards or contests or something. Anyway, 21st century schizoid man. I got to give kudos to Mel Collins, the great sax player. Any wind instrument Mel plays, he's an incredible musician, and I think he steals the show on this. Todd Rundgren and Arthur Brown on vocals. Thank God you really can't tell it's Todd Rundgren, because I can't stand that guy. But Mel Collins, I just want to let you know, there's not a person out there alive who's never heard Mel Collins. You might not know the name, but you know Mel Collins. He played on Rolling Stone's Some Girls. He played on Tina Turner's Private Dancer. He played on Bad Company albums, Camel albums, Dire Straits live album Alchemy, Alvin Lee albums, Brian Ferry albums, Roger Water albums, Chris Squire albums, Jerry Rafferty albums, Robert Palmer albums, Joe Cocker albums, the Alan Parsons Project, Eric Clapton Slow Hand, and there's a million more that I could have listed. The guy's an incredible musician. And anyway, 10 out of 10 on this. I say the standout tracks, if you have the vinyl, side 2 is absolutely amazing. Moonchild, which is the kind of the ballady thing on the album, beautiful. The Moonchild. They changed this all up and just, oh my God, it's guitar heavy, but not heavy guitar. It's there's like a lead break. That's kind of jazzy and trippy and psyche that goes on for I don't know how many minutes. It's absolutely beautiful, absolutely incredible, and then leads into the last song, which is "Court of the Crimson King," which at the end of "Court of the Crimson King," kind of fades out with da 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 da. Every time they do that, da da da, then this lead break comes in, goes da 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 da, and then another lead. Oh, it sounds so good. It's just really, really loving this album. I think I talked my friend Robert Hagerman into ordering this. I'm going to be interested in his thoughts. I know Steve at A is for Alice, B is for Bob, and C is for ... Was very impressed with this too. Give it a listen. Really good record. Now, it inspired me to pull a few other records. Obviously, again, just one of my favorite albums of all time. And what's funny, every time I think of this album, they're not associated in any way. They didn't come out in the same year, but for some reason they're like twins, or not twins, because they don't sound the same. They're like brothers or cousins or something to me, because I love them both the same. And that would be Jethro Tull's Aqualung. I don't know why. The two albums. If it wasn't for Blonde on Blonde and Sgt. Pepper, these would be the two greatest albums of all time to me. They're just that will never change. They're just really important albums to me. I love them, and there's very few albums that I can listen to 4,000 times, and on the 4,001st listen, it's even better. Like, it's just, I'm always just reliving my love of the albums. It's incredible. This is the Steven Wilson remix that came out a few years ago. Nice hardcover set. Beautiful, beautiful remix. It really needed a remix, this album. And yeah, so I wanted to give Aqualung a mention. Speaking of Todd Rundgren, So the first time I ever heard Todd Rundgren was a song called "Hello, It's Me." I hated that song with a passion. Hello, it's me. I did it. Oh man, I just hated it. And then he just seemed like a real annoying guy. I don't know what it is. He just rubs me the wrong way. He got a chance to work with XTC on an album called Skylarking. And Andrew Partridge, who's one of my favorite songwriters of all time, and love XTC, him and Todd just butted heads through the whole production of this album. And if Andy Partridge doesn't like Todd Rundgren, neither do I. So there. Next, let's talk about another gentleman who's on that album and has been a member of King Crimson since 2013, I think. His name is Jacko Jaxi. This guy's incredible artist. Another one who's got a resume a mile long. Excuse me. This is his latest album. It came out a couple years ago. It's called Secrets and Lies. I really like this album. Some King Crimson members show up on it. Robert Fripp, Gavin Harrison, Tony Levin, and Mel Collins. And Pete Hamill from Vandergraaf Generator comes on here. Mark King from Level 42. John Giblin, who plays with Peter Gabriel, Kate Bush, Simple Minds. Great cast of musicians. Some real proggy stuff on here, as well as some ballady type stuff. But I think it's a really strong album. I really like it. I was listening to it last night. Haven't played it for a while. But Jacko also, I found out because of this new album coming out, and I haven't paid much attention to him in the last few months, is he wrote his autobiography, and it's supposed to be really good. It's called, I think, My That Boy Has Lovely Hair. I think that's the book of it. It's getting great reviews, and I'm really a big fan of this artist. He's great. Here's an album he did with Mel Collins and Robert Fripp. It is called A Scarcity of Miracles, a King Crimson project. Jaxi, Fripp, and Collins. Really, really strong album. So there's that. And then what else do I have here? How about Arthur Brown, who appears on 21st Century Schizoid Man? I'm a big fan of Arthur Brown. Here's when Arthur hit the big time in the 60s with I Am the God of Hellfire, The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. This was a reissue that came out on the 50th anniversary, Super Deluxe Edition, which has a vinyl plus 3 CDs. And great set. I really love this album. He does the classics like I Put a Spell on You. And of course the song Fire is amazing. Heavy B3 organ, Arthur's great vocals. And yeah, I'm big fan of Arthur Brown. My favorite Arthur Brown album, which is a top 10 album for me of all time, is Arthur Brown's Galactic Zoo Dossier. I gave this another listen last night too. This is another album. It's when you first hear it, it might throw you, but as you listen more, it is a brilliant frickin' record. Really amazing stuff. And of course, there's Arthur's signature on there. What else do I have here? One last thing I want to talk about is Genesis. Genesis has moved into my top 10 favorite bands. I don't know who's moving out because I've moved in Widespread Panic and Genesis. I never paid any attention to Genesis. I couldn't get it. The Peter Gabriel led Genesis, I always said I liked the Phil Collins stuff better. And falling in love with Steve Hackett over the past few years and going to see him last year in concert, and finally him driving these Genesis songs into my head, and I just started to really dig this music, and I thought I got to go back and listen to Genesis, and I am just a huge fan now. Foxtrot might be my favorite Genesis album now. It was Selling England by the Pound, but I'll tell you, this song Supper's Ready, it is 23 minutes long, I believe. What a beautiful, beautiful song. And it's, hey, babe, I love it. It's just great. Foxtrot is such a great album. There's a couple other really super tracks on this too. Um, where are we here? Timetable's a beautiful song. Watcher of the Skies is great. Um, really, just an exceptional record. Oh, what else do I have? That's it. I'm heading to Zap Records in Coburg, Ontario today because I'm meeting my daughter in Coburg for lunch. And I just thought I might just pick something up, even though I don't have a lot of money left to spend. I wanted to show you the Arthur Brown Galactic Zoo dossier vinyl there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so I might have a new record to show. And if not, we'll be back with the random album pull, the wrap, Sunday wrap. So everyone have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.